Hello, everyone. As you know that we are showcasing a lot of powerful women in our Powerful Women show. We just started it, but I am so excited that there are a lot of stories, women's stories that come and describe themselves, show themselves how they are shaping their communities, nations, and how their own philosophies for their own selves can be the game changer from whole of their own family first, and then it impacted their communities, and at the end in the nation as well. I am so proud that today my guest is very special because she has a very special journey. She has been our guest in the Leading Women Summit, and I was amazed to listen her story, that how she faced all the difficulties and then prove herself, and make her own way the way she wanted. So I am introducing you, my beautiful sister Mireille Toulekima. I hope that I pronounce your name well. If not, then help me to
Yeah.
correct
So
it.
Mireille Toulekima.
Okay, Mireille Toulekima from Perth, Australia. She
Mireille.
originally belongs to Africa, but she moved Australia 30 years ago, and will I think we should welcome her in our show and ask her like how she is feeling. Welcome, Mireille sister.
Thank you, my sister Rabia, for having me in this wonderful platform. I feel very privileged, and I'm very excited to be able to have a great conversation with you, talking about my journey, my personal journey, but also my professional journey, and how I've ended up here where I am in Australia, and doing whatever I'm doing. So just like you said, I was born in Africa. I was born in West Africa, in a country called Gabon. Gabon is a former French colony, so that's where I was born, and partly grew up there. And at the age of 14, I was sent boarding into a French family in France. So I did all my secondary school and university as well, in France. And then I went back to Gabon, but not, it was as a result of tragedy, because my dad was actually paying for everything for me to be there, passed away. So I didn't have any option anymore. I couldn't stay abroad. And so I had to get back and stay with my family, my mom and my siblings, and find, to work and to make money, because I don't come from a wealthy family. So I had to just, find my way, and find, a job that would sustain me and help also my mom, who was, also taking care of, the extended family at that time. So that's how, back then in Gabon, the oil and gas industry was, was really the big industry in the country. And this, even, I study IT, but even with, my IT background, there was some interest for me to work, in the oil and gas industry, because they really wanted to have Gabonese and local people to get, involved in the industry. So there was a very good phase for me, and that's how, I got into the oil and gas industry, working for my first job was with Shell. Shell, one of the multinational that was, operating back in Gabon. And I was actually initially hired to work in IT, but then they really wanted to train a local to be able to be in the core business. So I shifted, and they basically trained me. So I was trained on the job for 6 months. I was sent to their training center in Holland to become a petroleum engineer. So that's how I became a petroleum engineer. So really in the office first, looking at things more from a theoretical point of view, and then went more into operation. And that's how my career started in the oil and gas industry. So worked in Gabon for 5 years, and then after the 5 years, when my career picked up, and I started my international career, working in Holland, working in Asia, and working in Australia, and just decided to stay in Australia more for family reason, because I think that I realized that was a good country to raise my children, because I'm a mother as well, mother of three. So it was a very good setting, and a very good environment for me to be able to work, to still push my career, but also to raise my children, and give them the opportunity to have a very good education. So that's how I end up in Australia. So moved in Australia 15 years ago. So almost 15 years ago, because I came in 2006. And then so decided to make Australia home. I've been in and out still, because after this move in 2006, in 2011, I got a job in South Africa. So I went to work in South Africa, as a technical leader for one of the big company, big petrochemical company called Sasol. I spent 4.5 years there, and then came back to Australia. And that's when I really, completely, fully embraced the entrepreneurship journey. So started MT Energy Resources, and then few other venture in the role. So started my organization, the Mireille Toulekima Global Leadership Organization, in 2018, and then started straight away STEM Queens as well. And then project after project. So I have a talk show as well, and I have a magazine, and I participate in different, think tank and technical and leadership group. So I'm in a phase where I really want to give back to women, because as we go along this conversation, it was not easy for me, especially when I started in the oil and gas industry. Couldn't, really see somebody who looked like me. So didn't have, any really real guidance, and didn't really trust at the beginning. But then, through determination, through continuous learning and resilience, because there was a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacle coming, because of my race, because of my gender. But I decided not to focus on it. I just, make sure that I see the positive, and get the right people to guide me. And I really want to, use this experience for other women, and women of color in general, to get, so that they can build on my experience, so that they don't have to go through the same type of challenges and obstacle, and so that the journey is more smooth for them. So that's where I am right now. And so I'm really enjoying this phase of my life, because also my girls are young adults, so I don't have to the independence. So it's more now about me, what I want to do, the impact that I want to create, and really enjoying this phase of my life right now.
So much struggle. Oh my God. From, for the age of 14, and then all the, going, um, getting the exposure till, starting from there and getting the exposure from the international level, it's a huge journey. I know that will not be an easy thing, making a decision and taking choices, what to do, where to go, and so
Mm-hmm.
you face lots of problems. Meanwhile, it looks like that, wow, it's a fairy tale, starting from here and everything is accomplished. But you face
Mm-hmm.
lot of difficulties in this years. So I think, as you say that, you have been optimistic, and you was learning, you have a learning attitude and resilience.
Mm-hmm. I think you're muted. Uh,
I'm sorry, with these all
mhm.
values that you have shared the story, I want to ask that what ideas initially that you have in your mind that shape
Mhm.
you the woman that you are today. Like if you go
Mhm.
back, making the scene in the age of 14, so what was the initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was not like you said. It was not an easy journey. First of all, at the age of 14, leaving my family and having to go into a family that obviously they were my friends of my parents, but I didn't know them. So having to live with them, different country, different race, different environment. I had to really be brave. I think be brave and really look at the positive of what was important, and look at what is important instead of looking at the negative and the focusing on the struggle. I think that was the first thing that really shaped me, is that despite the uncertainty, despite the fact that I didn't know. I was scared, yes, but I was just, always ready to try. And I think that helped me to really get along with this new family that I was, living with, because now they're basically like my parents, because I lost two of my two parents, and they are the only one alive right now. So they're basically my parents, or whatever I have, I go back to them. So, when you look at the long term, that's a positive. And then same, when I got into the oil and gas industry after my dad passed away, and, all the emotions, and coming into this industry where I was really very male dominated and very Caucasian male dominated, I felt lost. So I felt very lost. I was, my first attitude was to play the victim in a way, just finding already the excuse, of why I would not succeed. Yeah, I will not succeed because, I'm still, recovering from my dad's death. I will not succeed because I'm a Black woman. I will not succeed because I'm a woman. So it was coming, it was going on in my head. And at some point, I just realized that I was not going anywhere. So I shifted and really tried to say, okay, and also because of my faith, I just said, God, you sent me here. There is a reason. So it's not for me to be, miserable. So
Yes.
what, open my eyes and show me the way. And
Mhm.
that's when, the shift happened. I
Mhm.
started to be a little bit more positive, looking at more at my difference as an opportunity, as an asset. Basically telling myself, okay, if I'm the only one in, looking like that in that environment, if I do a good job, or if I work on a project, people will notice me. So it's a competitive advantage in a way, because all those guys look the same. So if they don't really perform, to the best of their ability, nobody will notice them because they all look the same. So that's the kind of approach that I started to look at, and shape my journey into the industry. And and really started to get confidence and also approach some of the male that could actually help me as well, mentor me, coach me as well, because you never do it alone. So that I could, navigate as well this very high testosterone type of industry, and really, have them to have my back and have, be the sponsors in the room, supporting me when I'm not there. So I've built, those relationships. There were no woman. I could have said, oh, there's no woman. I'm not trying anything, but I deliberately and then push to get some male mentors to really help me to navigate this very, very challenging type of industry. So it has been hard, but I think the key thing and the key lesson that I get from it is that you're always in control. So you give the direction. Whatever happened to you, whatever people say, whatever people think about you, at the end of the day, it is what you think about yourself, and it is what, the purpose or the mission that you define for yourself that is the most important. The rest doesn't really, it's not going to stop you if you're really focused on your purpose and on what you want to accomplish. And that's what I did. I just said, okay, I'm here. I went to the same schools as those men. So I should be able to perform well and bring, value into the industry. And as soon as I started to focus on bringing value, creating value, that's when, the people started to look at me, not to look at my differences, but looking at what I bring. And that was like a win for me. And that's always what I tell, some of the lady that I mentor or coach, is that, focus on what you bring, because whatever you do, whatever you bring, nobody can take it away from you. So whatever they think, whatever they think about you, whatever, if you deliver, if you bring value to the company, that's what, people remember. So that's a very important thing that I've learned so far.
That's so interesting. Because in the life we all face a different type of situation, and sometimes you feel like victim, feel like
Mm-hmm.
why this happened to me, and then when get at the point when we reflect back or asking question to God that okay, like why there is a bigger purpose. It's so beautiful
Mm-hmm.
that in our life, if we define some purposes or realize some purposes, so you are the lucky one at that moment, you shape your journey in that way, and give direction it, give meaning to it. I really admire that.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us a little bit about the STEM Queen UG Australia and all the and other your global Mireille show that you are
Mm-hmm.
doing with different guests and sharing their story. Tell us about a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm. So I started STEM Queens in 2018. So it's been 4 years. And STEM Queen, I started with a lady who is based in Uganda. She's a pilot, and she's a young lady, and she already had an organization, but she was more focusing on the young generation, and also disable girls, so to help them to go to school and find a way to, to get out of poverty, and also, give them find opportunity locally for them to be able to be integrated into the society. And I actually connected with her, in on LinkedIn, and we started to talk about how it would be important, because she see a lot of smart girls, in regional areas and everywhere where she goes. When she does all the tours for her own organization, and the talent is wasted because they don't have any opportunity. nobody noticed them, nobody mentored them, nobody, do anything for them. So they really needed, she really needed to create a platform to reach out to those girls, and also to make sure that we can connect them to opportunities outside Uganda. And so that's what we do. We reach out, we're doing reach out. Mentoring girls, we're coaching them as well. And, presenting, there's a group of ladies that are part of the STEM Queens. All of them are are STEM, they study STEM subject or work in STEM subject. And then they go and explain to the girl the different opportunity that exist and what they can do locally, if they embrace STEM. And the second part of the STEM Queen is to make sure that, when those girls reach a certain level, if they can have, opportunity to study either in the big cities in Uganda, or in big university in Africa or abroad. So we reach out to the different university organization to see if they can have, sponsorship or, scholarship, anything that can help them to continue and study in STEM. So that's what we do. In Australia, it's more about looking at our indigenous population, where, because we see a lot of women, especially in the energy sector, they are at the bottom, and they be promoted to decision making level. So what we do is we opening up as well, our expertise, and help them to, we mentor them, we coach them, and we help them as well to, to navigate and, grow into the industry. So that's what we do, and it's backlash, but now we're starting again, and I think it's we are creating an impact in either in Uganda or here in Australia.
It will be great, it will be great that if now the world is all about connectivity, and we can find other people from other part of the world who can come and join hands and collaborate. I will feel lovely, I will feel blessed. And it will be great if the lady women also collaborate with you, and we will do some projects together for the women, you know and one of my companies, an IT company. I'll send you my profile, just see that. Let's and we will find out some of the collaborative things that we can do with the women when you again restart the process. It will be great. So what is a future plan for your program, that your show, and as well as like the step going?
Yeah, lost you again. I think you're muted
Okay,
again.
I just asked, so
Mm-hmm.
what is the future plan for the STEM Queen and as well as your show?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for the STEM Queen is just, to continue what we started, and the future plan is first to extend really to the whole of, Africa, and then extend globally, which means that, like you said, there's some collaboration that needs to be done. We're not going to open, start all over everywhere. If there are, organization already in place that we can work with, then we're happy with that. And I forgot to actually talk about the show. You mentioned it. So I have a show called the Greatness Engineering Hour Show. And this show started because I realized that a lot of people have potential, but sometimes they don't actually step into the power that they have, the potential that they have. And why did I call it greatness engineering? Because people think that it's just about a technical show. But what I always tell them is that we are engineering all the time. We are engineering our
Okay.
lives. We are engineering, our everything that we do, we engineer. So all of us are engineers, not just people in science. So in this show, I bring people who have, a story, something to share for the audience to learn from. So they share tools, they share strategies, they share, method that they've used to be able to be where they are. And then, for the audience, it's a good benchmark for them and a good inspiration for them to realize that if they've been able to do it, they can do it, because those are people who have, started from nowhere and failed several times, but managed to, to become really, influential and also be really, reach their goals. So that's the objective of the show, really making sure that people understand that they have this power inside of them, they have this greatness inside of them, and they should really unleash it and go for it instead of keeping it dormant inside of them. And that's really what I'm trying to do with the show. And the show is global now, so I just want to, to continue to reach out to, new countries, new communities, and really create, bring this message of greatness, this message of people understanding they are limitless. They should not limit themselves. They already have all the gift, and it's just for them to be very strategic and have the right tools, and to be able to use, those gifts, and make a difference, because that's the objective: make a difference in the world, and help others as well, as they, as they offer their gift to the world. So that's really what it, the future plans for me, for both projects.
That's really great. You are doing such a fantastic job. And what I feel whenever I talk to you or met you, the energy inside you, it feels like so exciting and so, a soul that is very lively. And I think that when we live our life fully and the way we want, I think we feel and resonate with these this energy with other people. So I really like it, appreciate that. Although it's very interesting conversation, but we are running out of time. I just made it short, only 30 minutes conversation, so we can anybody can listen it, with a very short time. So it's very beautiful, sharing, talking about your story. What do you think, that what message that you want to give to other women who are listening your conversation, and or young girls, or or all the women around the globe?
So, I mean, my message is simple: is, don't disqualify yourself, because I think a lot of women sometimes, and that's what I did when I got into the oil and gas industry. I started to look at what I don't have, and my difference is focus on that instead of focusing on what I could add and what I could, bring. So I'm just going to tell them, don't leave anything on the table of life. Go for it. Identify your gift, and then give, and step into the power and the greatness that you have. And that's really where, I want to leave it today.
So thank you so much. What a powerful message that you have shared with us. And I think we should